Hear me out. It might get weird.
Basically, the last few hours, off and on, been thinking about what's going to go on with Luna here, what I'm going to do with my position. And it's the first article I found that actually mentioned what I was worried about. This CEO of Binance says, because I'm talking, it's like the fork versus the burn / other problem. If they announce they're going to go with this fork, the simplest way that I can put it is, hey, if you held Luna before it crashed, you're going to get a piece of the pie. It's probably going to be a fraction of what you had. And if you bought after the crash, which most of mine is after the crash, and got these awesome entry prices, already saw good gains, you're sitting on a little cash, you're out of luck. Now, the question is, I didn't understand what out of luck means. Does out of luck, if they fork it, mean that Luna will go to zero because they can delete it or take it off all the exchanges? Or one guy in I was commenting back and forth in one of my videos, is Crypto Yeezus said, well, they essentially turned it off, it's going to go to zero. So I'm sitting here going, well, why is no one talking about this? Maybe it's the weekend, maybe it's because all these are suspected plans. But if we look at this in a way that anybody that got in on the, the low price down here, like I did, none of this is going to matter. It doesn't matter if it's down 30% or 40% today. All these gains, profit, are going to go to nothing. That's what I was trying to figure out. That's what they're saying. They're saying if they make a new one, when they do the wrapped one, the wrapped Luna on Coinbase, somebody said just buy that. But then they're going to delist that, I think. So I guess what I was trying to figure out is well, first of all, we don't know what they're going to do, but that's not my concern. I can't control that. What I can control is what I do with my holdings. If it's all pointing in the direction that if they choose to do this fork and try to serve the people that originally supported them, I get it. But that means that anybody that bought at the bottom, we're not going to have any value if the coin gets deleted. I thought if they did a 2.0 or a new version, we can just sit here like peasants and trade the penny stock version of Luna, which means my holdings would honestly probably increase over time, because it might take a hit short term, but the media in itself is going to draw people in to get Luna. And if they can't get the Luna that's issued to the old holders, they're going to want a piece. It's kind of like the meme coins, like the Dogecoin, when they were doing Super Bowl ads, just because it's just the very fact that the Luna would be in the news would cause people to find Luna if it didn't get delisted, and then they would buy, and it would drive up the price, and demand would be there, and a lot of FOMO and retail money, and then it would be like this whole thing, right? And this guy's saying, the CEO of Binance saying, hey, the split won't work. Plus you're abandoning anybody that tried to rescue the coin. I don't own any either way. I'm just commenting. Pointing out potential issues, minting forking, don't create value. Okay. So, okay, I'm literally, this is like a fork in the road, no pun intended, that the possible fork in Luna. I'm literally sitting here on some profits that are pretty good for me. And am I going to look back and basically say, hey, man, you should have taken those profits because they went to zero and within a second, of them announcing what's going on, or saying, man, you could have taken those, you shouldn't have taken those gains because they didn't end up forking, they didn't end up doing this, they did something new they've never done before because this has never happened before like this, and your holding that you might have cashed out for a little bit of cash is worth life-changing money now because of this. I don't know what I'm going to look back and see. if you want to manage risk, you'd say, okay, well, take some profit. I did take a little profit. They'd say, take out your original investment. I already did that. So what am I worried about? I'm not worried about anything, but it's a mind game when you have gains and they are not realized because I haven't exchanged my Luna for Tether or transferred it out after that trade. It isn't like real yet to me because they're not realized. But to make them realized, that would mean that I'd be out of the game. So you could say, hey, okay, well, just sell half and keep half. What can I live with? Can I live with looking back that my half that might have been worth, like, simple math, $1, and now it's worth $500, $300? I mean, are we going to be looking at those kind of gains? I don't know. Somebody had a gun to my head right now, and they said, what the hell are you going to do, and what do you think's going to happen? Well, I think that the CEO of Luna, or Terra Luna, or whatever the hell the company holding, like, he's probably going to try to please the investors and the early holders, and if they do the fork, they all get a piece. It's like, to me, maybe it's not correct, but it's like, hey, like, you're getting pre-issued stock at pennies on the dollar, and then because no one can really get it, it's going to drive the price up. I also read that they suspected if they did the fork that original or the investors would immediately dump it just because of kind of what happened, because there's people out there that are hurting, right? If you bought in at the top and you lost all your money. I believe the most dramatic way that this could work out is Luna will hover, and then there'll be an announcement, hover around where it's at. There'll be an announcement of like version 2 of the fork talk or the reset, but it won't be official news. It'll be, we're looking into this, but then the news will take it and run with it, and it'll crash the price, and then they'll look into it, whether that's in quotes like fake or not, and then they'll keep playing the narrative, and they'll drive the price maybe, I don't know, down as far as it was, but really, really far. And then instead of doing the fork, they'll just, the big time investors will come in and buy it all up. It'll panic sell to the bottom, and they'll buy in, and they won't have to do a fork because the people that have the positions now will be the important people, in quotes, and all the people that had the original opportunity sold in fear, and then they will do some sort of burn or something beyond me to increase demand and decrease supply, and then the money will have exchanged hands again. It'll be out of the scared FOMO money or the gains like me, pressured to sell. They'll have the money, then they'll drive the price up, and there'll be no fork, and there'll be no reset, and they'll be rich again. That's what I think would be the most dramatic way to do it. Will that happen? Who knows? What am I going to do with the gun in my head, like I said? I think I should sell 50% of it. 50% of the big gains. I have a feeling that Monday is going to bring a very red day. I feel like whatever I have in gains now will be less than half on Monday, and by Tuesday it'll be worth a quarter or 10%, and I'll be smacking myself because it's not just the money that you'd be taking off the table. If it does not fork before it shoots up, you would have more money to invest at the bottom. So it's kind of a mind fuck here. What do you think?